Hello and welcome to Global Elite Computing. Today, we will be creating an EC2 instance on Amazon Web Services and then connecting to the instance using a terminal. Before we dive into the steps of creating the EC2 instance, let's briefly talk about what EC2 is. EC2, or Elastic Compute Cloud, is a service that allows you to run virtual servers on the AWS cloud. You can use EC2 instances for a lot of different tasks, including running applications, test environments, hosting web servers, game servers, running containers, machine learning, data processing, media encoding, and CI/CD pipelines. Now, let's get started with creating our EC2 instance. First, we need to navigate to the EC2 service dashboard. We can do this by typing EC2 in the search bar at the top and selecting the EC2 service from the list. Let's go ahead and type EC2. And then click on the EC2 service. So here we are at the EC2 service dashboard. To create a new EC2 instance, we need to click on the button Launch Instance. First, we need to give our EC2 instance a name. I will call this instance Demo EC2. I will also add some additional tags. Tags are very important for configuring and managing EC2 instances. To add additional tags, we need to click on the Add Additional Tags button. To add a new tag, we need to click on Add New Tag. Tags are key value pairs. The key for my first tag is going to be company. And the value is going to be Elite Global Computing. For this new tag, the key is going to be environment. And the value is going to be test. Next, we need to choose our Amazon Machine Image, or AMI. Here, I will use an Amazon Linux image. And I will choose Amazon Linux 2. Next, we need to choose an instance type. I will use the instance type T2 Micro, which is free tier eligible. Next, we need to create a key pair. The key pair allows us to connect to the EC2 instance securely. We will use this key pair on the terminal when connecting to the EC2 instance. To create a new key pair, we need to click on the button Create New Key Pair. Then we need to give a name to our key pair. I will call our key pair Demo Key Pair. And then click on the button Create Key Pair. After creating the key pair file gets downloaded automatically to our local. Next, we need to define the network settings of our EC2 instance. For this, let's click on the button Edit next to Network Settings. First, we need to choose our VPC. For this, I will use the default VPC. Then, we need to choose the subnet. I will use the first subnet in the list. I will keep Auto-Assign Public IP enabled. Next, we need to create a security group. Creating and configuring a security group properly is very important. The security group will define what resources are allowed to connect to the EC2 instance or not. Let's go ahead and give a name to our security group. I will call this security group Demo SG. As description, I will also add demo SG. Next, we need to define an inbound role for the security group. On our terminal, the protocol that will be used to connect to the EC2 instance is SSH. So as type, we'll leave it as SSH. By default, SSH uses TCP and port 22, so we'll leave those as default. The source type determines where the connection is coming from. In this case and for this example, we will leave it as anywhere so that anyone can connect to the EC2 instance. As description, I will add allow SSH. Next, we need to configure storage for our EC2 instance. By default, one volume of 8 GB is added to the EC2 instance. We will leave this default configuration and we will click on Launch Instance. Our EC2 instance has been successfully created. Let's go ahead and click on the EC2 instance ID and take a look at the EC2 configuration. On this screen, we can see different properties of the EC2 instance, including the instance ID, the instance state, the instance type, the status, and much more. As we can see here, the status of our EC2 instance is initializing. Let's give the EC2 instance a few minutes to initialize properly, and then we will come back and connect to the EC2 instance. I will pause the video for a few minutes and come back when the EC2 instance is started. Alright, as we can see here, the status of the EC2 instance has changed from initializing to 2 on 2 checks passed. Now let's connect to the EC2 instance. To connect to the instance, we need to select the EC2 instance and then click on the button Connect. Here, we need to ensure that we are under the SSH Client tab. On this tab, AWS gives us a set of steps we need to follow to connect to the EC2 instance. First, let's open our SSH client. Then, we need to navigate using the terminal to the location where the key pair file is. Next, we need to change the permissions on the key pair file. For this, we can run this command from the AWS console. Finally, we can run the command to connect to the EC2 instance using the key pair file. That command is also provided on the AWS console. Let's copy the command and paste it on our terminal. Now we will press Enter to connect. On this prompt, we need to answer Yes and press Enter. We have successfully connected to our EC2 instance. Now that we are connected to the EC2 instance, let's verify that we have connection to the internet. For this, we will use the ping command and we will try to reach www.google.com. As we can see here, our EC2 instance is able to successfully connect to Google. So let's summarize what we have learned today. What we have just done today is we have created in AWS a server that is able to successfully connect to the internet, and that can be used for various tasks, including, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, running applications, test environments, hosting web servers, game servers, running containers, machine learning, data processing, media encoding, CI/CD pipelines, virtual desktops, and so much more. Thank you all for watching the video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time for another video.